Brandon Strong, friend, teammate, Canadian, whatever you want to call him. I got him on the internet and we talked, and you can watch it right now if you want to.
Like for the longest time, like when I was, before I knew any of you guys, I was just like watching all the animal style videos and shit. And like, oh, this is so sick. But like, I didn't know what you looked like. I didn't know what Jason looked like. I kind of just barely knew what Julian looked like.
Yeah.
But like, it's good that this kind of shit is happening.
It's sick. Like you don't know the faces behind the cars.
Yeah.
So, and like, I don't think that's common knowledge in the drift world. That people don't know what we look like.
Yeah.
Like you go to an event and like, sometimes you don't even know what some of the other drivers look like. You're just like, oh, I know your car, which is weird, but it's also cool. So it's like it's this like small group of people who like do this one weird thing a lot, and we like really enjoy it, but we don't really like, it's like about us. But for some reason, people want to know about us, like as people, which is cool. So I just want to give a platform for that. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I got a whopping 60 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm at a whopping 80 downloads on my podcast server. So, dude, we're just killing it right now.
You're just picking up steam though, right?
Yeah. Next stop, quit my fucking job.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm not gonna quit my job. I need that.
You think your bosses watch this?
Nope.
Nope.
I hope they don't watch the episode with Danny and Aaron.
Oh shit, dude. You might not have to quit your job.
Yeah, I might be asked to quit my job.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, man. Of course I want to have you on here because people don't really know you. I feel like you might be like a Canadian superstar celebrity, but like when you come to the States, it's like,
Yeah.
Who's that other tall guy with the red car?
Yeah, exactly. And New Zealand especially.
Yeah.
You remember signing like people's posters, or I was at least, and they like didn't know who the fuck I was.
Yeah, like you signed this, and didn't someone think you were Jason?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. Some people think I'm Julian because someone else will tell them like, oh yeah, just go find the tall guy. It probably happens to you too.
No, because Julian and I look pretty different.
I guess.
But yeah, Phoebe does almost like grab my butt sometimes when she's like back there, It's like kind of hard to tell. We dress like baggy clothes and stuff. I don't know, maybe.
You guys got sibling fakes?
Definitely not, dude. I got Hank Hill ass like crazy. It's bad. I can't jump at all. It's cursed me. Or probably would have played basketball. Could have been the White Iverson, dude.
Yeah?
No.
Iverson was pretty short. TBH.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's a Post Malone line.
Yeah, I got it.
It's the second time I brought up Post Malone on this, dude. Everyone's gonna think I'm his biggest fan. I can't name more than one Post Malone song.
Well, one's better than none.
Yeah, that means I'm not a fan, but I mean he's cool, I guess. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Post Malone. We're here to talk about Brandon Strong,
Hell yeah.
So like, how old were you when you got into drifting?
Shit, I was like 19, I guess. But when I say that would be like I had a single cam KA with an open diff. And I probably drove it 4 or 5 times that first year.
Like at events?
No, not even.
Just street stuff? Or just
in the rain.
Yeah.
Doing like cul-de-sacs and stuff. So
like,
not really great.
Hey man, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. And then I guess I was 20. Yeah, it would have been like 2014 when I went to my first like skid pad day.
Sick.
And yeah, dude, I was like so nervous. It was like the it seemed like the biggest event in the world to me, but it was just some like small little skid pad practice. Yeah.
Did you link the course?
Did I what?
Did you link the course?
I did actually, yeah. It was nothing like cool, but
Sick, dude.
yeah. But that wasn't in a KA car. That was this other car I bought. I had a RB, and that was it. RB and coils.
RB20?
Note 25.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was weird. I like bought it, and every part on it was completely stock, like suspension, wheels, like anything you can imagine. It was completely stock, but it had an RB25. And yeah, I bought that, put coilovers on it, and that was my first drift car, I guess. First real
Pretty
one.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a way to show up.
Yeah, I guess. I'd like at the beginning, I was like, so I grew up in like the small town, I guess. It's like 5 hours driving from like literally any other town. So there wasn't much else for like people with cars and that. There's like me and 2 or 3 of my friends. So
how do you find drifting if you're in like such a small town?
So I guess when I was like really young, like a kid, I would watch like every kind of racing. I was just like obsessed, like anything I could find. So Formula D was one of them, just because it was on TV every now and then, and
yeah,
I kind of got a little bit of exposure then. And I don't know. And then at that point, when you're like 18, 19, you want something you think looks sick or whatever, right? So I see all the videos online, and like I just wanted this low car with like big chrome wheels and shit. So I don't know, it just seemed like accessible. Like real racing wasn't accessible, but I could go buy like a 240 and just start skirting around pretty easy.
Yeah. I can associate with that for sure, man. Like I definitely did the same thing. I was like, well, I can't afford like a spec Miata or anything. Like I don't even really know how to work on cars, but I can buy this clapped out S chassis and weld the diff and maybe get some coilovers in 6 months and see what happens. And like I think that's what's so cool about drifting is like you can get into it for like a very low entry point. Like compared to any other racing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that's another thing I love about it is like just motorsports in general are like not very accessible, like just because they're expensive. But drifting's easiest to be competitive for the least amount of money, I think.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
when I say competitive, it's not like, I just mean easiest to be good at and for it to be obvious, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of the things that people deal with when they do any kind of racing. Like I did a season of karting when I was younger. It's like a weird family situation, but it worked out in my favor. And it was always the whoever had the most money, like usually did pretty well.
Yeah, totally.
Because they had like the best blueprinted motor, and they were able to change tires every heat and all that stuff. And so like that's just kind of how I split. And I think that was what was exciting. That was like that allured me. Allured? I don't know. That drew me into drifting because I was like, oh, I can just have whatever and go drift. And if I can link the course, like I'm the man. But
yeah.
Pretty soon after that, I realized that there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, and then that progression is like super cool too. Like compared to other motorsports and racing and stuff, it's so easy to see your progression.
Yeah.
Whereas with racing, like you can be getting so much better, but then it's like you kind of plateau, and then you're changing cars or doing upgrades and stuff along the way, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like you would see every step as clearly, like as you get better.
Yeah, and I think those like a lot of those motorsports, there's not like a big vehicle styling aspect of it too. So when you're young and you like want to have something cool and flashy, it's like really really attractive to have like this like sick like I remember the first like really cool drift cars I saw. I was like, oh, like in person, like in videos and stuff, it's different. And when you see them in person for the first time, you're like, that thing looks crazy. Like I want that. Like I want everybody to look at me like while I'm driving down the street. I want to have a big smile on my face while I'm, trying not to explode a wheel on every speed bump or every pothole or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like the perfect like young person's motorsport because it's like kind of like counterculture meets like aesthetics meets having
Yeah, I
fun.
get it.
Yeah.
It's like part rebellious and then part just like, I don't know. It's good.
Yeah. When did you first like realize, all right, cool, this is like something I really want to get into?
Okay, so I had the KA car for like a bit of my first year drifting, I guess. And when I say year, like since I'm in Canada, a year is basically like 6 months and then a 6-month break while there's snow.
Because you're like pretty far north in Canada, right?
Yeah, especially like where I used to live, like the smaller town is like really far north. And then I'm a bit further south now, but still like probably 6, maybe 7 months of no snow. Anyways, so first year with KA, second year with that RB car, and like I started going to skid pad days then. And at first, like I had to go 5 hours to like the next city with a track or anything. And, like I showed up there, and it seemed like just coming from this small town or whatever, I didn't know anyone there, never been to drifting in my life, and I was just like, in my head at that time, I was like, if I can get good enough to just like not look like an idiot here, like that's all I ever want. Like I'd have been so happy. And I don't know, but it pretty quickly, like I realized I was able to get around pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, if you can link the course on your first skid pad day and you'd only ever done like a little bit of street stuff, that's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
We were pretty fortunate because Cinema started doing like Wednesday night, and that's where I met like Jason and Julian, and we could go like every week after work. And I had like a KA S13. I would like drive it to work, drive it to the event with some tires in the back, sometimes not. Hope I didn't burn through them so I could get home. And it took me quite a few events to be able to like the course and stuff. Once I kind of just got like crazy and threw Cajun because I was like, I need the tandem, like that's the coolest thing ever. And once I started doing that, I was like, okay, I have a lot to learn.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we going with that? Oh, sorry, to continue. Like, so that was my second year drifting, and I probably went to like 3 or 4 of those skid pad days that year. And then at that point, I was like, fuck it, man, we're ready for Formula D. Like, not actually, but like that winter, I like completely tore the car down to like a bare shell and like, did the same stupid move that so many of us do, like fully gutted, full cage. Like I sold the RB and I bought a 1J and put a big turbo on it. And I was like, I did everything just all at once. Like, did that like over the course of 8 months. And then, anyways, that was just, I guess, the point where I was like, all right, we're going in. We're going to.
So you did 4 skid pad events and went full psycho.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Pretty stupid, but like at the same time, whatever. I've still got that same car now. So.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know your hatch used to have a 1J.
Yeah, so it had the RB when I bought it, and then 1J, and now SR.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That depending on who you ask, that might be a unwise or wise decision.
It's like tell you what, I worked on it a lot less with the RB and the 1J.
I mean, yeah, there's something to be said about how the car drives with S burn it though.
Yeah, it's like it's night and day. Like really.
Yeah. I would agree. I would agree with if you have an S chassis, 4 cylinders is good. Keep that weight back over the strut towers, you know,
Yeah.
and it'll rotate real nice, and the steering will feel good.
Yeah.
It won't
It
wash
makes
out.
it right. Like I'd almost like to try it with the 1J like now that I'm a better driver and like have it set up better because it was like slammed on like 225s.
Yeah.
It had the 1J, so it would like literally just sit there and go like 50 kilometers an hour.
When did you? Because I don't know. For those of you who don't know, like, I mean, I think you're like a really impressive chase driver. Like, where do you think that came from? Because I feel like sometimes people have the ability to like lead drive a little better or like chase drive a little better, and I feel like you're definitely really strong in the chase drive driving like position. Like, when did that kind of like come together? When did you just not get scared one time and you're like, all right, this is me? Like,
Yeah, I think like I wasn't good at chasing, but I think just because I was scared to like enter close, like anywhere near someone.
mhm.
I think the switch kind of flipped when I went to Japan twice, like within one winter, and came back, and that's when I put the SR in the car and raised it a little bit and put bigger tires on it and stuff. And then the first time I drove it after that was at DUI that year, and
Always a good time.
yeah, always a good time. And I don't know, just at that event, like I don't know, the car just felt so much better, and like I was driving with a friend of mine, Ben. Jesus, a friend of mine, Ben, and yeah, I don't know, I just like felt pretty good, and I could like suck up on him because my car was more grippy. So I think just like that one event, like that was the first time I like rubbed a door, like was actually door to door and stuff. So after that, it just kind of like ended that fear of being scared to enter close and stuff.
You're like, well, already painted a door first time.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
And then after that, I was like hitting people every event, like maybe too much for how comfortable I was, but
I think that's kind of what happens. It's like you find where the limit is, and then for like quite a bit of time, because I've been the car that gets pushed around the track, maybe a little too aggressively sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's like finding that like perfect point where you can just hang there, because it's like if the car in front of you checks up or whatever, being able to like act quickly. I'm still figuring that one out, but
right. There's a lot of it is like the lead though and the situation. And when we're doing like 4 cars in a row, it's kind of bound to happen if we're close.
yeah,
I think.
yeah. 4-car trains when you're that close often don't end well.
Yeah.
But
like most of the time.
That's the game, you know?
Yeah. That's another thing. The last few times I've driven, like I haven't even been that close to people. I want to blame it on my car being broken, like for like 2 years straight, but I don't know. I'm ready to like next time we go out, just kind of jump in there, because I feel like I take the morning of the first day or whatever to try warm up.
Yeah.
And then my car breaks.
I mean, yeah, I'm familiar with that. It takes me sometimes. I like the 2-day events a lot better, because then I can like warm up the first day, and then the second day I'm usually like, all right, I can get close. You know, I can lead no problem. And for the most part, like everything's cool, but for some reason it takes me like a little bit of time to get into it. I think it's like the amount of time between events that you do.
Yeah.
Like I know, I mean, you're like MVP for driving as far as you do to come drive with us. I mean, what was like what got you? I mean, okay, so like a lot of people will do events local to them, and the thought of doing an event far away is really scary. Like I remember the first time I went to, I think it was ASB or yeah, it was ASB. I was like, well, what if my car breaks? And I was like, you have a trailer. It's like, oh, okay, well, like, what if my trailer breaks? What if my truck breaks? Like, that's far and scary, you know? I didn't, I think I was like 22 or something. And it was like the scariest thing in the world. And then I did it and it was amazing. And it's like, you get to like meet a whole new subset of people and you can kind of like break out of that like small community of like people who all just talk about drifting like in the same light because they're only influenced by each other kind of thing.
Right.
So I think it's like super important to like break that. And like, I mean, you like how did you like find that was like the thing that you needed to do?
I think it kind of made it easier for me because coming from that small town, I had to travel in the first place to go to any kind of track day.
Yeah.
So it was at least 5 hours I had to go. That was like minimum at that point.
Damn.
So after that, I went to DUI 1 year.
How
And so
long?
that
How long was that?
God, my memory's bad, but I think I had moved to Calgary by then. So from Calgary, it was 8 hours.
Yeah.
And so then I did that. And I think it was the next spring that the first Super D Matsuri happened.
Okay.
Right. And I guess that would have been my first big trip. And
Wow. So you're like, all right, I'm going to California. I'm going to Southern California from like Northern Canada. Let's go.
yeah.
Pack the truck up. We're out.
I saw like the event poster and I didn't know if you could just register or if it was invite only. So I messaged Julian because he was the only one who I knew was involved and I didn't know him at all. And he was super cool and he said like I could come and if I knew anyone else up here to make a team, like get them and come down or whatever. So
Like,
once
hey,
he
bro,
kind of said I could
it's like
come.
it's like 30 hours. Like no one else is coming.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was actually cool. Dylan and Carter both came from Canada.
Sick.
With me. And then so I couldn't say no, like once he said I could come.
Yeah.
I was excited anyways. Like I didn't want to say no. And
That was a good event.
yeah, that was a super good event. But I didn't even like it was a sweet gateway into I guess meeting all you guys in that. But at the same time I didn't talk to any of you guys there.
Yeah.
I seriously talked to Julian for like 10 seconds, I think, while he was fixing his car. And then I just didn't want to be a pest, so I was like, okay, whatever.
And then if you're willing to drive that far to come to drive Grange, like that's legend. I think like I think you like impressed most of us at that event. Like you drove really well and we're like, oh, who's this dude? He drove like 30 hours plus to get here. Like
right.
Really? Like where does he live? Canada? Oh, what part? Like way up? We're like, that's crazy, man. Like that's so sick.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think you got some like pretty cool clips from that event. Like definitely.
Yeah, and it was weird because honestly, dude, I did not try good. Like I'd never shifted to third gear on a drift track ever before that. Ever.
Like, were you 408 at the time? Like stock final drive?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
So I was like not killing it. So, but somehow like when they did the team competition, I probably had like 2 or 3 of my best laps the whole weekend, and I think that was like the only time people were watching. Like, most people were watching, so I think that's how it ended up looking like I did good.
Yeah, that was a cool event. Those Super D monsters at range were always pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, me too. I hope we can make that happen soon. And by we, I mean everyone else.
Yeah, I know.
I like driving them.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Super Deep stuff is definitely fun. Like you got second at Washington, which is cool. You're driving
That's,
sick.
that's cool.
Don't be so
Thanks.
hard on
But
yourself. I like the humility though.
it wasn't good. Like that's the thing. I don't know. It's one of
Hey,
those
dude,
deals.
if you're not first, you're last. Okay, second place
Yeah.
is not good
So
enough.
so really that's
Just
shit.
quit.
Pretty much. But I don't know. I'm just ready to drive more. That was
Yeah,
like the last, aside from uh, just horse thief at Final Bout here. That was the last time I drove.
yeah. Another long drive.
Yeah, well, a long drive there and back.
Yeah.
Not so much
Yeah.
on the track.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, that's okay though. We
Yeah.
They can't all be good.
No, exactly. Sometimes they're just all bad.
That's what keeps you going though. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
this next one. I mean, I think that's one of the hard parts about drifting is like when you do put all the time in and all the effort and you like go to an away event or you go to like even a local event and you know putting like 2 weeks in of prep time or you like trying to get your car done or doing whatever and it's like you get there and it's just like your car doesn't work. You're like,
Yeah.
why do I do this?
It can get so frustrating, man. Like, but it almost wouldn't be as good when things work, right?
Yeah. I think it's all about that kind of like balance. It's like one of those things where it's like if it was easy and it was fun, it was like perfect every time, like it wouldn't be as cool. It definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't be as like enjoyable. You'd be like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah, it wouldn't be so rewarding for sure.
yeah. Like I'm probably gonna quit podcasting because it's just so easy and I'm so good at it. I'm just gonna get bored and go back
when
to
there's no competition, it just takes the fun out of it. Eh?
yeah. Luckily, there's a lot of competition in the podcast realm right now. There's like a bunch of drift podcasts popping up because no one has anything to do right now.
Yeah,
It's
true.
talk to people on the internet, which, hey, man, that's
Power to
pretty
you.
much all I'm good at. So,
So does that mean you're gonna quit smashing front bumpers in?
yeah,
'Cause
I'd
you're
like
so
to.
damn good at it.
I mean, it's just not fun anymore. Like I've just done it so much. When I was on the one with when I was on Unexplored Lines with Billy and Mez, of course, Ruben asked like about they were like, why does Palmer like blowing up 180SX front bumper so much? And I was just like, hey man, it's been a lifelong dream to fly to another continent and blow up somebody else's front bumper after 2 laps.
And then fly out.
Yeah. That was a fun trip. I think that was cool. Like you like barely made it and had to like do all these like crazy flights and
Yeah,
it worked out.
that was an experience, dude. That was like, yeah, I can't imagine the trip being much better.
Yeah.
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 It'd be sweet if we all had our own cars, I think. Like,
Yeah.
if I was to go again, I'd try line something up.
Yeah. That was like the best drift trip that didn't involve us drifting a lot. But, you know, it could have been really cool if we all got to drive and like get comfy. I saw you throw down some pretty cool ones, like just 1 or 2 laps out, like threw it on the across the grass and forth, and I was like, okay,
Right?
and that's how you want to do it. That's exciting,
Yeah.
especially when you only get like 2 or 3 laps. You're like, I'm going for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna waste time.
Yeah. What where would you like to go? Like where's somewhere you'd like to visit for drifting? Like, obviously there's Japan. You've been there.
Are we talking like countries or like specific maybe tracks or
I guess both. If you got one of either.
both? Like honestly, for drifting, Japan and New Zealand. Like I just keep going back to those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of tracks. Like in the States. I don't know. What's one you can think of? Is there any you haven't been to that are like sick?
I don't know. I kind of like don't all those like New York dudes and New Jersey dudes run like English Town. Is that the track?
Yeah.
That one looks pretty fun, man. And I feel like that would be like a good time to go drive that.
I think so too.
There's some cool like Northeast stuff. But other than that, I don't know. There's definitely like obviously there's tracks that we don't know of that are probably really cool all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we can hit them all. Probably not, but maybe. I mean, I think yeah. So like, what?
Are you coming up with a question on the spot?
All of them do.
Nice.
You're just not supposed to.
I got one for you.
All right, go for it.
Like how long have you known Julian and Jason, and then when did you meet them?
It was at Sonoma. I met Jason at Sonoma. He like his car was like white with some like mixed match aero and kind of rough looking, but he could drive really well. I think he like just got his FD license.
Okay.
And so I was like talking to him a little bit, and he like hit me up to get. So I was like, I think I was like 22. I think I said that, but he was like, no, I was younger than that. I think I was 21, maybe 20. I was 20. Yeah, I think it was like 20 or 21. Anyway, he like was like, dude, your car, you gotta get aero on this thing. I had like stock front bumper. I had a Sylvian front, but it was like stock bumper.
Yeah.
And like black stripe still. And so he sold me like a rep kit that was like already painted white for it was like $140 or something.
Nice.
I put it on. I was like, oh man, this car looks crazy, dude. Like I like drove to the gas station. Some guys like, dang, like, you know. And yeah, ever since then I was like, okay, like this dude knows what he's talking about, and he was super nice. And I used to do a lot of video stuff back then, so I was like following them to FD essentially. Like I wanted to like show people like what it took, because they were like, you know, Jason and Julian are just like, Jason worked at his parents' deli, and like Julian's worked at like the same machine shop like since I met him pretty much. I think he worked at like a welding spot for like a little bit too, like doing fabrication, but like they're just people who like really love drifting, and they didn't have like a big financial backing, and they were like giving it everything they had, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever. So I wanted to make a video about them going to FD. So like that's how I started hanging out with them. It's like first Jason, and then I hung out with Julian one time, and we like were swapping stories about like our teenage years, which had some similar experiences. So like we had some funny stories related to that I won't get into, but we kind of just hit it off and been friends ever since. I didn't get put on the team until we won Team Tandem at ASP 2013. I like came back, and Ryan had ripped his like animal style banner off of his car and like put it on my back window. And I like walked up there, I was like, no way, dude, crazy, so sick. And like that was
a movie, dude.
Yeah, that was a really cool day. And I've never driven that good again.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I do okay. But yeah, so like I remember you were like doing your own thing, and like you had Rise, and you were like kind of trying to like make that. I mean, it was you, right? Like you were Rise, and you were kind of like really coming up quick. Like I was seeing videos like from Canada of you like doing cool shit, and then you came to that. I think you came to that second Super D Matsuri, and you like were throwing down like crazy good, and everyone's like, who the fuck is that? Like I think that's like when you kind of like popped up on the radar more. Like it's like, all right, and like we were hanging out more, and it was like, all right, cool. Like Brandon's chill. So what like how did that all come to play? Like I guess.
Um, yeah, so I can't remember like the exact timeline, but yeah, I was kind of doing my own thing or whatever, and just driving as much as I could and coming down as much as I could, and like staying at Julian's place when I would come down. And I think at some point it kind of came up about like painting my car red, and at the time I wasn't sure if there was any, like if it was just a joke or if it was kind of serious or what.
If there's like any relation, he's like, you should paint your car red, and you're like, why?
Yeah, and it got me thinking, and I don't know if it was this weird like pride thing or whatever, but at that time I decided, as much as when I got into drifting, like animal style is like what I looked up to the most.
See, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
sick. And at first I like, it was just sweet to hang out with everyone and meet everyone, and right away it was like, it didn't seem like this weird thing where I was like hanging out with my heroes or whatever. It was just like, you know, some cool dudes, and we were all chilling and whatever, getting along.
Yeah, dude, you drift just as like you're just as into drifting as we are, and
Yes,
you drive well, and you just like hanging out. Like it's
pretty hard not to get along.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, okay, you have the same mental illness as we do. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and then I lost track. I'm the worst storyteller like you'll ever meet, but we're rolling with it. So,
dude, I'm into it.
yeah.
I'm just gonna edit. I'm just gonna edit it up and chop you into like a million pieces.
Chop me up, bro. So, I kind of decided to myself I was gonna keep doing my own thing, because at the time I think it was, looking back at it now, it's kind of stupid, but it was this, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It was a pride thing. I didn't want to be like, you know, a small fish in a big pond kind of thing. Like,
yeah, you wanted to be the
the
man.
shittiest guy on the team. Like, I wanted to kind of build my own thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of had that mindset for a bit, and then it came up again, like sometime after that second Matsuri. And yeah, I don't know. I thought about it again. I was like, why the fuck wouldn't I? That'd be the coolest shit in the whole world. And like,
Yeah.
these dudes are all the best, like to hang out with and to drive with.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that you turned it down one. Like,
Well, I don't know if it was even an official invitation. It was just me thinking in my head, like, after a comment or something.
You're like, nah, dude. How about no? How about kick rocks on me? Like, I'm my old man.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm glad I did. It's like, I don't know, it's the best group of dudes, right?
I mean, I would say that that's a biased opinion, but
yeah. But I'm sticking to it.
All right, fair enough. So the reason you're able to do these big events and like tow 1 million hours and like be gone for a little bit, but you can only do it every other 2 weeks because you work like 2 weeks on like hardcore, 2 weeks in, 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
How does that like affect drifting, and how does that like, I mean, like you work on like heavy machinery in the middle of like a mine in like way northern Canada, and it gets like negative 40 Celsius, and you got to do some like real man shit, you know?
I guess, yeah. I'm not gonna hype it up too much, but like, you know, it has its moments where it's not bad, and it has its moments where it sucks ass. But
it's pretty much, is it almost exactly like that like Alaskan mining show where they like look for gold, or?
No, I haven't watched that, but probably not at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping it was.
Uh-huh.
I just envision you like, you know, working on backhoes that are like, you know, mining for gold in the middle of nowhere, and it's like There's lots of
Well,
snow.
I don't know. It might be similar. It's not for gold though. It's for like tar sand and stuff. But the rest might be the same.
What is tar sand?
Tar sand? It's got oil in it. It's
Oh,
like
tar sand. Okay, sorry.
yeah, Tarzan.
Yeah, swinging from tree to tree up in Canada. You guys are just looking for them.
Yeah. Fun.
Damn. So
But yeah, to answer your question, I think realistically, that's how I've been able to travel so far and like meet everyone and get that into it. Because when I think about it, having the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, I don't know. How do you make those kind of trips? You can't.
yeah, you take a
Not
lot
on a
of
regular
PTO
basis.
like me.
Hmm?
You take a lot of PTO like me.
Yeah, yeah. That's a ticket. But at
Like
least
you're
like,
negative in time off, and I'm like, okay, well,
I'll make up for it one day.
I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not going on the next trip, guys. But it's worth it, right? Like I would
Oh,
say, man, like you have this like crazy like grueling job that you like do 2 weeks at a time, and it's probably like really hectic. But then it's like the plus side is like you get to like have that time to go do your thing and like come down with us, and it's like it's super sick. So you know, it's kind of like
yeah,
that like give and take type of thing.
yeah, totally. And I've been doing it for quite a while now, so it seems normal to me. Like I think the premise of it probably seems weird to some people, but it's so normalized to me that a 9 to 5, I don't know if I could handle it now.
Yeah.
It would be so weird.
Have you been doing that like has that like been your like job your whole life pretty much? Like was that your first job?
Yeah, like I worked at a sports store from like grade 8 until I graduated, and then
Sick.
yeah, and then
Slinging
um,
balls.
selling balls. And after I graduated, like yeah, a few months later, I got an apprenticeship to be a heavy duty mechanic, and I've been doing it ever since.
Is it like pretty hard to get into?
It can be hard to get an apprenticeship. Yeah, I did
Because
this
that's
like abnormal program kind of thing where you fast track all the schooling,
yeah.
where normally it's like 2 months a year for 4 years.
Whoa.
But yeah, but mine, I just did 2 months of school, 2 months of work, vice versa, for like 16 months or whatever till it was all done.
Dang. So you're like, is your family up in that area because they all work in that industry?
Yeah, yeah, like my dad works at one of the mines too. Yeah.
Is it like Zoolander or not so much? Like, do you have the black lung?
It's not quite like that, no. I probably got like the brown lung. It's not quite that bad.
I just like pictured you at the bar, like, and then you're on TV for like some like modeling
Yeah, my
thing,
face
and
covered
then
in like black dust and shit.
yeah, and then your parents are like, or your dad and all his friends are really disappointed, but like also proud.
Yeah. And then I'm
Yeah.
coughing like
Yeah, just like that. I don't know. How'd you know? See, it has to be like the movie.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so like you work on like giant heavy like excavators and like the big dump trucks that I like idolized when I was a child.
Yeah, all that mighty machine shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
sick. Like how how different is working on something like that than like working on your drift car?
honestly it's weird because the concept is the exact same. Like the specifics are pretty different. Like there's a lot more hydraulic stuff and the electrical is a lot more complicated and everything, but I don't know, the basics and like engines and shit, it's all the same. It's
So
just bigger.
you like work on the diesel engines and stuff as well? Like you do everything on like the whole machine, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's pretty badass.
it's good experience. Like it helps me when I work on my own shit.
Yeah. You come back and you're like, oh, the piston isn't bigger than me. I'm like,
Yeah, like an injector on some of them would be like that big. Just an
sick.
injector. Yeah.
You're like, hey, this glow plug's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta
But
twist it with your whole body.
yeah, it's whatever. Novelty wears off pretty quick. About like at first, it's like, oh, this is sick. Like it's you're looking up at it, and it's like mind blowing. But once you actually have to work on it for a little bit, and you're like fucking cold and over it, it starts to suck.
Yeah, like so you go like all through winter, even when it's like freezing,
Mm.
below freezing by a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, because they run like 24 hours a day, every day of the year. So there's no like downtime.
Yeah. You're like, you better get that truck working, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why I threw like a southern accent on it. I don't know, you guys are in Canada. I just
Yeah, you got to work on that.
anytime I say truck, I always like throw a southern accent on it. So like yeah, so that's pretty crazy, man. So like I didn't even know that I don't know anyone who does that kind of work. Like obviously because I live in San Francisco and that would be weird.
Right.
Most of
But
the,
there's got to be like construction equipment in that.
yeah,
Like obviously,
yeah.
I know
But
Tom.
it's pretty yeah. Well, I think they're in like Staten Island, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're yeah, isn't he like a crane operator? Aren't they crane
No, Tom's
operators?
a mechanic like me. He's got
Okay,
a
sick.
service truck. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
dude.
pretty cool.
This worldwide drift family, everyone has these like crazy different jobs and stuff.
Dude, it's so weird. Like literally the full range. Like,
Yeah.
mechanics, like nurses, like
I was gonna
tech
say nurses
guys.
next too. That's weird.
Yeah, that's because there seems to be a lot of them. Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. There's like anything you could imagine, people do.
I'd want to drift to forget what I saw as a nurse, probably.
Hmm.
Drift away from the things that I saw that day or that week. Okay, I feel better. Yeah, that's a gnarly job. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a lot of people who have like jobs that are stressful because you need money to do
You
this.
get away from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think there's like a little bit of like escape mentality in the people that like drifting. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, you forget about everything else. Like even like whether you're mad working on your car or like it's a good day or a bad day, like you just forget about everything else.
definitely.
Pretty nice.
I think that's like one of the most when I was a car audio installer, I would like come home from work and I like didn't want to touch my car.
Mm.
And then when I got into like computers and all goofy whatever, like if I sometimes I like go on site and have to like help build stuff or whatever, but when I'm sitting at a desk all day, like I cannot wait to go work on my car. It's like this really like weird balance. And I think that's like kind of important. Like I can imagine being a mechanic and then also like working on my own car after work or on the weekends. I know that some people can do it, but
Yeah, I'm with you. Like being an automotive mechanic is like so low on my list of things I want to do. Like it's close enough what I do now where it's kind of annoying like that. Like I go work for 2 weeks and then I got to come back and you motherfucker.
what's wrong with my mug that says clown on it, dude?
Nothing,
Aaron
dude.
got me this mug. Aaron got me this mug. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't do that day in, day out. I'd lose motivation to work on my own stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how people do it, but they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
But I would say that percentage is like surprisingly small.
I think so. Yeah.
For the people that like that we at least we drive with a lot. It's I don't know. I feel like if you're trying to go like the Formula D route, like if you have your own shop, that's like seems like the way to go. Like, but it's like usually like fabrication or like tires or something. It's not like general automotive stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think you kind of like have to have your own business to do that realm of driving.
Yeah, it seems like it nowadays.
Yeah.
That's kind of something that I feel is just to kind of turn the conversation missing from drifting in like North America. There's Pro-Am, obviously there's FD.
Yeah.
there's Pro 2, which is ridiculous now. Like it's FD from 5 years ago, just like
Maybe less. It's like FD from like 2 years ago.
yeah, like the cars that are in Pro 2 are ridiculous. And then there's Pro M in like various places.
Yeah, and
And
like Pro-Am's kind of dying out a little bit. Like at least around
like,
us.
I never see or hear about any Pro M series or events, and I feel like there's a big gap from Pro 2 to Pro Am. Like I feel like if you're in that middle ground, both whether it's driver skill or just you're not gonna build a car to compete in Pro 2, like there's nowhere to compete. Like if you're not gonna spend all that money, and it'd be nice to have, some kind of series step up, like obviously D1 lights kind of thing.
Right. I mean, that'd be cool.
Mm.
I definitely, as a I kind of like bowed out of competitive drifting because I watched Jesse Streeter like throw 90s on the wall at Mayhem like time and time again in some like video, and I just like, I don't have to compete to do that. Like I want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And that was like the coolest thing to me ever. And so I kind of like had a bad experience at a drift comp, and I kind of just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this isn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm kind of regretting it because I realize like I don't have those skills. I don't have the skills like required to like do well in a drift comp because I haven't really done it that much. I've done, I think, 2 or 3 drift comps in my time of drifting. So, and I got 3rd at one at my first one, and then I haven't made it out of the top 16 since, top 32 since.
Damn.
I'm the same way. I would like to have some comps to like bring up the driving level, and I think that's like what Super D was supposed to do. It's just really they're hard to put on, I think.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of effort.
They do the job like well, but yeah, it's just hard to be so steady throughout a year, like a real series.
Yeah, especially when you're a driver too.
Yeah,
You're a driver, you have a job. Like you can't just like be a drifting organization or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's a crazy amount of work just to even do the amount that happened now. But
I'd like to see something, maybe even like, I don't know, just more small comps that don't mean much. I think that would be really cool. And then, if there's like a comp series that's not like taken it too seriously nationally, or I mean obviously it'd have to be nationally, but like even just in like small areas, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I agree. It's a hard balance to get between like not taking it seriously and taking it just seriously enough.
Yeah.
Where I don't know,
I haven't found that line yet. I'm either like not serious at all or like way too serious.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like, I'm definitely like very serious about how I drive.
Yeah.
And maybe not in a way where I don't punch the dash and like get mad if I'm not doing well. Like, it's not quite like that, but I still, if I'm not doing well, I'm frustrated and I'm just thinking about what I'm doing wrong. And obviously, like anyone trying to improve.
Yeah. You're definitely super competitive. I learned that, especially after we played iRacing last night. I was like, okay.
Did you notice when we were playing, like I can't talk when I'm putting down a serious lap?
Yeah, you're so serious, dude.
Like I'll chat and shit if I'm just like cruising or if I already fucked up a lap, but no, if it's
like,
game
oh,
time.
where'd Brandon go? Oh, he's on a flyer. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I do like
part.
I do like that we like have that we can play. I don't know, like the gaming stuff kind of like is like taking off a little bit because we're all locked in our houses, but it's nice to be able to do that with the people that we have to usually go across the country to drive with.
Yeah.
Or in your case, drive all the way, 500 million hours in your truck just to do one event with us. So it's like, it's nice to have that intermediary situation,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially probably for you when it's wintertime and you're like, I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Big help when I'm parked for like 6 months.
What's the difference between, so like, what's it like when you know that your car is going to be down for 6 months? Like, do you always do like an overhaul, or do you like I don't know, I can't compare, because like in California it's like there could be a drift event every weekend if we wanted there to be, if someone wants to throw one.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost, in some ways, it's nice that I'm forced to park for a while. It's a
Yeah.
good, like, good mental reset. So I don't think I'll ever get burnt out if I'm only doing it half of every year. And it gives me a good reason to try fix stuff, like,
Yeah.
rather than just letting it get worse and worse consistently. But
Yeah. Tell me about that. I know all about that.
I'd struggle with it if I didn't have the winter to like force me.
Yeah.
But it's hard at the same time. Like, shit, I drove four events last year, like 4 times last year, and 3 times the year before that.
Yeah.
That's my own fault partly, but it doesn't help only having that 6-month window, because then if something, semi-major breaks, I'm wasting a month or two of
Yeah.
the
That could
driver.
be the end for you.
Yeah, yeah. So it's tough like that. I've been talking about bringing a car like the S14 to California to leave with you guys somewhere.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and then I could
And
just
you can
fly
just,
down in the winter.
yeah, you can just arrive and drive, dude.
Yeah, that'd be
Like a
like yourself.
boss.
Yeah,
I hate when people say like a boss, but I just did.
you did it, man.
There's no going back.
No, you're that guy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like, most people wouldn't be able to do that, but it's cool that if you think about it, you're in like an odd situation where, like, because of the place that you're in, you're able to like have like a bit more like financial ability to like do those things. It just
Mhm.
takes like a lot more energy, I'm sure. And it's like you don't have the resources close to you, but because of like where you're located, you're able to like kind of do the exploratory stuff more often, which is kind of sick. I mean, it's like a really good way to flip what you're doing. But like most people wouldn't just jump in a car or jump in the truck for like 30 hours to go drift, even if they had the time and the money. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I
I
don't
think
know if I would be able to do that by myself, like right off the bat, I think.
yeah, I don't know. Like, looking back now, I didn't even have to think about it. Like, it was just something I was gonna do it. Like,
Yeah.
like I wasn't debating if it was worth it or this and that. I was like, what else? So after I got that taste for it,
Yeah.
and there's nothing like that around me, like, it was too late. I had to do it every time.
Yeah.
So
I think, yeah, one of the first events where I like drove really far, I thought it was like 10 hours, and I thought it was like the craziest thing I'd ever done.
right.
But I had such a good event. I was like, this is it. Like, you gotta get out. You gotta like really go, and you know,
Yeah, see different places, do different tracks, different drivers. Like,
yeah. And I think that's super important. Like, even if you're in like a small town and you have like some street drifting and like an event every like once, like, I don't know, go to the next city. If it's 3 hours, like, just do it, like
yeah,
it's definitely worth it. Like, you're going to meet more people, you're going to get perspective, you're going to like gain this like better understanding of the thing that we all do versus like the same 10 or 20 people. I mean, obviously there's like the internet, but
yeah, but
people are different on the internet.
yeah. And seeing that stuff in person like gives you a different appreciation for it, like, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, similar story. Like, the first time I went to Japan, I came back and I sold my Lexus, got a trip again, like just got like super serious about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd recommend anybody and everybody who can go there and see like what the driving level is there, and like not only will it like give you a new respect for like what's possible, but you'll be like, oh, I can go way harder. Like,
Yeah, it's super motivating to see that shit. Like,
yeah,
it's
you're like, I thought the limit was here. Like the limit's up here, and I'm like down here. You know, you're like,
yeah,
I thought I was close to the limit. No, like not
not
even
even
close. I
close.
got like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's another thing. They do it like they just keep doing it there. Like all the the OGs are still driving and drifting, and like I don't know many people in North America that are in their late 30s or 40s and still drifting.
Yeah,
I can't really think of many or any.
I do think it seems like it's a bit more accessible, especially like car choice wise. Like if you
Mhm.
look at older people who drift, they pick an easy car to take to the track.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know a couple people who are like in their like, I don't want to say later years, but like, they're in their like 40s or like something. They have like they'll get like a E36 or Mustang or something, and they'll just go do like slow runs or whatever. And like
Yeah,
some of them will still have an S chassis or whatever, but it's not like crazy built. And if it is, it gets driven like once a year, right?
yeah. And I don't mean to like discount that they're still doing it in that, but it's from what I see is like the guys in Japan that are older, they're still like pushing, like
Yeah,
driving all the time, like pushing the limit, like
yeah,
as opposed to just like still having a car and like recreationally doing
yeah,
it now.
yeah. I think it's because those cars in Japan are a bit more accessible, right? Like
Mm,
it's like you can go buy an SRS chassis and throw some knuckles on it, and it probably already has coilovers and like a you know
yeah,
turbo timer or something, like, and boost up and stuff, and
yeah,
like go out and like crash pretty much and run that car for like 2 3 years, and they'll do that.
mm,
And I think that's kind of one of those things where I don't know. It's like drifting has been around so much longer there. I don't think that the earliest, I don't know how to explain it. I think some of the people that got into it in the next wave are the ones that we're seeing now still doing it. It's kind of like drag racing or whatever. Like you see the old guys and they're like super crazy cool drag cars and whatever. But like early on, like I think a lot of the people that got into it like really early, like it it changed so much that they like it's not the same thing as when they got into it. And so they're like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing this when I can, kind of thing. But
yeah,
like when I started, we just like slapped the motor in this thing and went, and now it's like so it's like this whole different concept. I think that kind of happened with drifting a little bit, like
mm,
people in Japan who like had hachis and would go, no knuckle like mountain slide and
right,
like what is this roll cage stuff? Like what is this like crazy horsepower? So maybe I don't know. I'm just guessing.
yeah, yeah. Hard to say.
I don't really know anything, but I've been there. I can
That's
I
it,
can
man.
I can make a guess. Also, the people that you go see like there are like really serious about it, and I
Yeah,
think that's what's super cool. You're like, oh, you just kept doing this forever, which is really all our dreams, right? Like,
yeah. I have a lot of appreciation for that. Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me really what other people do, but as much as I say that, I kind of wish people would, find what they love and kind of
experience.
dedicate themselves to it more, like rather than I know so many people that, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of, and I get it. Like maybe it's just my personal opinion and maybe that's wrong, but I'd be more interested if someone was into fucking, if they're into collecting stamps, but like they
Oh,
dedicated their life to it. Like that's
yeah,
pretty cool to me.
yeah. I struggle with that too a little bit.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of it's like when you're like so immersed in like one thing and like you've kind of like I don't want to say dedicated your life, but when you like that's like your reason for getting a good job or get it like like doing whatever to like make sure it keeps going kind of thing, like whether that's like start a business or go back to school or whatever. You're like no, like this is so that I can buy a house, or this is so that like I can do X, Y, Z, like this is purely so that I can continue doing this thing that I found that I'm like this crazy about. uh, it's like a little hard to understand the concept, like the mindset of somebody who like hasn't found that yet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't
not
know.
everyone's gonna find it.
I find that weird. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe our perspective sucks because we found it, I guess.
yeah,
I don't think, but
definitely. We're just
yeah,
spoiled.
yeah, I guess.
If you
But it's
call
just,
being stressed out all the time and then getting to drive 3 times a year spoiled, but whatever.
yeah, I know. It's kind of like the shittiest addiction you could
Yeah,
possibly have. But
I mean, hey man, we're here.
we're
You
there.
wouldn't you wouldn't be on the Goodest cast if you didn't do it, dude.
We didn't make it.
Yeah, you have officially peaked.
Just downhill from here,
Yeah,
eh?
all 48 people that are gonna watch this are gonna be like,
Shit. At least it's only 48.
everyone listening to this is like, yeah, why am I listening to this? This is
Yeah, for
this.
real.
I don't know. I think.
Okay, I had a question
Okay, go ahead.
going way back. Like you just started playing iRacing, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you been playing a set over a little while?
I've been. I got a set like 3 years ago, and at the time I was living in a room in this like 9 bedroom house. It was like definitely illegally converted, and the Wi-Fi wasn't powerful enough to play online. So I would just kind of like play every once in a while and like throw a car around and kind of try and figure it out. But the physics were always like a little weird, and I would never play long enough to get comfortable.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like I finally got my setup now where I'm like hardwired in, I'm plugged
Yeah.
into the matrix, and I actually have fast enough internet where I can play online. And that was a big deal because then I could play it for like a long time because you're playing with friends and you're like talking to them and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about like Assetto drifting versus like playing another game and racing? I guess like, do you prefer one over the other?
So I only played iRacing yesterday with you guys,
Yeah.
but I definitely had a really good time. So I think I'll be doing a bit more iRacing
Hmm.
coming up because uh, I think there's a lot to be learned in car control from that.
Yeah,
Uh,
being a good grip driver definitely like helps a lot with anything else, like drifting too, like big
yeah,
time.
I've always had like a big head and thought I was a fast grip driver because I got third place in a front wheel drive street class time attack when I was 19, and I've always like, well, back in my day. Okay, but
That
like,
grip stuff is easy.
yeah, I'm pretty good at indoor karting, but like when I go with, like, I beat Julian at indoor karting. He doesn't like people to know that, but
Well, now they do. Now
yeah,
48 people do.
that's the game. And then
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, carts are different than cars, and I was like, no, they're not, dude. I'll smoke you on the track anytime.
Mm.
And then playing iRacing with him, I was like, I should probably rethink that because you and him are super good, and I'm like 2 seconds at the pace, and
Ah,
but I'll get there.
oh yeah.
I think I think strong grip driving skills allows you to be a good chase driver
Yeah, it definitely helps.
because you can find the grip to like catch people.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So
Where I was going with that, and where I was gonna see if you feel the same way. Um, I almost don't enjoy like playing Assetto and drifting that much, especially since I got iRacing. Like, I don't find myself wanting to go online and drift, and I don't think that's because I don't like drifting as much. I think it's because there's something about like that danger and recklessness and like the risk.
and instead of take that away.
And Assetto takes all that away. And yeah, I don't know.
It's like drifting without the adrenaline.
I guess so, yeah. And like, so that's the side of it. That's the drifting side of it. And then playing like iRacing, it's a good outlet for racing. Whereas, what am I trying to say? It wouldn't be realistic for me to go like buy a great supercar or like any race car, right? And go racing. Like, it's just not gonna happen. But I can get on iRacing and jump in a race, and I actually get super nervous, like in a real race on iRacing. Like, dude, my heart goes crazy. But and it actually gets my adrenaline going. Whereas on Assetto, if I'm just drifting with friends or whatever and like throwing it in and shit, like there's almost no risk and there's no adrenaline. Like, maybe it'd be different if I was doing an online comp or something. But
yeah, they were all like hating on me because I would just like throw it in super hard and like hit people off the track, like way too aggressive. And I'm like, I'm just doing the stuff that I wish I could do in real life, where you just like throw it in crazy on transition and like, push people. But instead of, if you like touch anyone, they like fly off the track.
yeah,
That's not to say that I wasn't like hitting them super hard on transition, but I actually get where you're coming from. Now that I've played, I was like really kind of hesitant to get on iRacing, and now that I did, and I still like the variety of stuff, and it's a lot more fun with friends, right? Like anything, we do drifting. Sometimes it's social, sometimes it's not, but it is nice to have like people to at least like be like, oh, that was fast or that was slow, or
yeah, and like,
or wow, Palmer, I watched you fly off the track and crash. That was nuts. Hey man, I'm learning. It was my first day.
Yeah.
I'm a trainee.
That's fair. Still on that rookie class.
Yeah, I think I gotta put a few more laps in before I try my first race. But I do see what you're saying. I think that it's good practice. Assetto almost it's good practice, but it's not. I think like drift sim stuff is good practice, but at the same time, it can teach you some bad habits. And if you don't drift like already, it can teach you some really weird things that when you go out and try it in real life might be different. So like, it is good to have both.
Yeah, I heard you and Jason talking about it a bit, and I don't know. I think, I don't know. I think it can help with timing and like muscle memory and stuff, and especially maybe chasing, like the timing of when to pull back and transition and stuff.
Yeah, that was primarily why I was playing a lot, because I was trying to get better at chasing, and so far not. I haven't been able to test the skills yet.
Yeah, I wonder when the next time we'll get to drive is. Is there anything planned like later this year, fall?
I don't know. I don't know about big events. I would, if you come down, man, I'd really like it to be like a 2-day, we hang out.
Yeah, it's a lot more relaxed that way. I don't know. I wish a lot more of the local events to you guys were 2-day ones, because it makes it a lot more worth it for me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I think Thunderhill just opened up again, and they're doing like 10 people max. Like, passengers in cars, like 10 people max with masks and all that stuff. So it's like pretty gnarly. And I'm excited because I just got my car tuned and it's fast, and I want to like go learn it with some actually grippy tires because
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be really fun.
What have you been using for tires lately?
So the final bout, I was on triangles because I just had them, and I literally like didn't have time to get tires. I was like down to
Yeah,
the
well,
wire.
that's why you can't chase close.
Triangles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know what I'm gonna run. I've always liked Federals, but you know, hey, Federal, you want to give me some
Do
tires?
it.
Because I mentioned you on my 42 subscriber podcast. At me.
What do you do? 265, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
265 up front, or 265 and 265, 35, 18 rear, 235, 40, 17 front.
Same recipe.
Yeah. I was like, well, let's get the same tires as everybody else and see what happens. And
Yeah. Seems to work.
yeah. Do you run a welded or a two-way?
Two-way.
Okay.
Dude, stupid story, but I went to buy what was it? Oh, I found a guy with like a found a guy with like a 4.3 for sale,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to be a 4.3 on a VLSD, and it was for sale for $100, like in a pumpkin, all done, whatever. And like, but at the time it was like sweet deal. Like I haven't
Yeah.
seen another 4.3 for sale around here. Like awesome. I went and picked it up, brought it home, took the cover off because I was gonna weld it, and like it didn't look like a regular VLSD. So I was like, what the fuck? And,
Yeah.
I went online and just started Googling diffs or whatever, and I'm like scrolling through trying to compare it, and yeah, it's an Nismo two-way.
What?
Yeah, that I got for $100 in a pumpkin and everything. So
That happened to my buddy, who like one of the guys who like taught me everything I know about 240s, like in the very beginning. He was like my coworker, and he's the first car. It was the first car with a limited slip I ever did donuts in, which I probably bought my 240 right after that. I already told that story like 3 times on this, but no one's gonna listen to this anyway. So his name's Andrew. He like went to buy one from his friend or something, and his friend said that it was making clunking noises and it was broken. And so it was like his friend of a friend or something, and he didn't know what that meant at the time, but he was like, oh, well, like I'll you know, him and his buddy were like, well, we can like swap the internals and you know do all this stuff, and then they like cracked it open, same thing. It's like I think it was either a cause or a Tome? I think it was Tome. Anyway, yeah, it was like he was like, dude, and I think he said, yeah, same story. Like that's like the coolest thing ever.
Best
For me, I've been talking about getting a two-way lately because I've been having a lot of issues with understeer, and that's a lot of the reasons I've been hitting stuff is because I'll lose the front. And I you know what, it's probably just me being bad, but I would like to try.
A difference.
Yeah, I did notice when I went from, because I had a two-way of Mass 13 at one point. I noticed when I went from two-way to welded, you really had to like upset the car more. You had to like upset the car in like a slightly different way to make sure that the front didn't push.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't throw it quite as hard because if you throw it super hard, it'll just push, right?
Just plow the front.
So I've been looking into those for the M3, and they're not cheap.
Yeah, I can't imagine they would be, eh?
Yeah.
But it is a good upgrade. Like back in the day, like I would have thought it was wasting money for sure.
Yeah.
But now,
I mean, yeah, I sold mine and put a welded in because I needed the money. But
oh shit.
I think I got mine for like $500 or something. Like it was a good deal, but I think it was like really used, so it didn't work the best.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it's essential now, I'd say.
And
you can still do shit without one, but
yeah. And friction modifier smells really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It do.
And I definitely spilled it all over my friend's driveway. I spilled it over my friend Galen's driveway, dude. He let me do his driveway.
No way.
Spilled all over the driveway. He was so pissed.
Yeah, I bet.
Hey, that was it. Like, yeah, I think I used to give him $50 a month to keep my car in his driveway because I like couldn't keep it in my house.
Yeah. Small price to pay to dump 2 liters of gear oil on his driveway.
Yeah, and that Ford friction modifier that smells so bad. I have like no sense of smell, and I know that it smells terrible.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But I guess worth it for not plowing the front of your car and stuff.
Yeah, compared to the price of like some other shit that we buy all the time, like it's really not that much in the grand scheme.
So you have the S14, you have the S13 that you like pretty much started drifting in. You have it. Do you still have your S15?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so you got one of each.
I have, yeah, and then I have a 180 shell. So it was the black 180 I had. I went to drove it for a year, and then I sold it, and then the guy like pulled the engine out of it to build it, and some stuff happened or whatever, and he put it back up for sale, and I bought it back as a shell.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you have 4 S chassis.
Yeah.
Jason's got 3.
Yeah.
One of them's a shell. Julian has 1, 2, kind of. Not really. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Al's got 2. I have none. So.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I should probably at least get 1, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been getting so much pressure to go back to S chassis lately.
I know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You can't like go all out on your car and then just change it. I feel like I need to enjoy like standalone E85 like big boost 1J for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
and then realize that I just don't fit in, and my team hates me because of it.
Nah, I think you got it set up like pretty damn good right now. Do you want more power in that, or do you think?
No, after the tune, it's like
yeah,
plenty. I mean, I want to like maybe a little more.
Always just a little more, eh?
Yeah.
You got to keep up with Jason.
Tell me about it. If I get left on Grange one more time, dude, I'm gonna go like big top mount and just
just cook everyone.
Yeah. I think one thing that's cool about Assetto was they have some of the tracks that we drive. So like Grange, I always get left off the line because I don't know how to like launch at Grange and like keep up with people down the street. And the same thing happens in the game, which tells me it's not my car, it's me, right?
Yeah.
There's like some other things like even like FR Legends taught me some of the things that I'm doing wrong in Chase. Like I always get like on these weird lines when I'm following people, and you know I've gotten like plenty of good advice and I've tried all of it, and it's like this like weird mental block kind of thing where like I know what I need to do, but I just like don't do it
in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, did you have anyone that you like learned from when you were learning? Like how was that? Like kind of just solo or?
Yeah. No, like I said, just me and like 2 of my friends, we all started pretty much at the same time. Actually at the same time. And yeah, there was nobody else to learn from like in town or anything. If you saw like a rusty 240 on XXRs, you were like, oh shit, you thought it was like so sick.
Like one of us.
Yeah, it's all like truck country and shit.
Yeah. How many people are in the town that you grew up in?
I mean, it wasn't puny. Like, I think like 70,000.
Oh, okay.
But it's more or less like a mining town. Like without the mine, that wouldn't exist. So I'm sure you can imagine that the kind of people that live there aren't really into Japanese drift cars and stuff.
Yeah. Especially not like the ones that you built.
Yeah. Not ones with like pink wheels and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they like the flames.
Yeah, true.
I like flames.
Probably.
Yeah. Everybody likes flames. If you don't like flames, you're like, you might be a little dead inside, but that's okay.
Dude, that's another thing. Like, on your last design, like the one you have now,
yeah,
did you work with Michael, or did you have like ideas, or? I'm always curious.
No, I kind of just let him do his thing like a tattoo artist.
Yeah. I think that's probably the better thing to do.
Yeah, I threw suggestions at him, and then he tried them, and they looked really bad. And I was like, "You're right. Don't do that."
Just do your thing, dude. I don't know.
You do all your own graphics, right? Like you've always done them.
Yeah, like me and my girlfriend Lecha, she does like the actual vectors and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like my cars. Like I haven't in a long time.
That's funny because I always really enjoy them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if it's just that type of deal where it's your own, so you're extra critical, but I don't know. I look at something like Michael did, and like if he does something simple, it works. If he does something crazy complicated,
it also works.
And when I'm trying to design stuff, like it's the flavor of the day. One day I'm like, oh yeah, like simple. I want simple. Like it'll look best. And I do something like try to do something simple, and then I'm like, oh, that's too simple. That's not even cool. And then
to be fair, that's kind of what he did on mine. Like he's like, I'm into like kind of like simple, clean stuff right now. And I was like, okay, like show me what you got. And he's like, how about this? And I was like, that's sick. I was like ready to cut it and put it on my car like 3 months before. So it's just kind of, he's like, he's a busy dude. Like, he has a day job.
Yeah.
With like a crazy commute, and he works at a snag shop. So he like literally like does prints graphics for other people all day. So he like comes home and he's just, so he's like, the fact that he is able to do that like after those long days, and like still pump something out pretty sick. Like, I don't know, it meant a lot to me. I've been waiting for him to do that for a long time. I kind of have been on the list for, I don't know, 2 years or so. Like the flame graphics I had in my car, those were some throwaway flames he did for Luke, and Julian and I kind of like mocked him up on my car, and I did the fade with the gradient, and Matt Madrigali like cut them for me. So like I never really got like the full like D Magic, Michael like treatment essentially. Yeah. So this time it was like, and it went.
It's so good. Yeah, like I don't know, just like the details he puts in everything. Like it could be a simple design, but it's really not. Like the more you look at it, the more you notice all these crazy little things that he did, and like and then the super complicated ones, like even more so. Like the more you look, you always find something new to like notice. And Jesus, even that check from Northwest Trial, like printed check, like just that, like there's so many little details that's like,
he's insane, man.
Yeah,
I mean, like and it's what's crazy is like it took him like, I don't know, like he did like a bunch of revisions on like the side profile, but like once he gets that down, once he's like happy with it, he's like happy to finish it, right? Like it was like really, it took forever. I was like getting super nervous because we were getting like really close to like event time, was like, it's fine. We'll just run it as is. Like, I'm gonna get it tuned. Like, it's cool. And like, we still got them, and it was it was a crazy week, but
Yeah.
like he got the roof. He just freestyled the roof. Like, he just like had a bunch of extra pieces, and he's like, all right, about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sick.
The back pieces are in the like rear license plate. He just kind of freestyled those. He like freestyled some of the like fender pieces. But the hood, when he showed me the hood, he did the hood in like a couple hours. And I was just like, yes, dude. Like, I wanted a Michael hood. Like, that was really it. Like, I just wanted, like, because he just does like such cool shit on hoods, because it's just a flat blank canvas, and he just turns it into this like crazy for art.
Right.
So,
yeah. He's
I'm also gonna take it off the car and like put it on my wall in my living room, but I don't think Xiaomi will be okay with that.
Dude, I've been trying to. I've been saving like a door from every time I redo the car, because there's usually, actually every time, there's been one door like caved in.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna use it anyway, so I just leave everything on it. And, like, yeah, one day I'm just gonna like cut the guts out of it, so it's just like the door skin.
Yeah.
And then I can put them like in the garage.
I have one from the last layout. My coupe, my S13 coupe never had really that cool graphics on it. Like, did some stuff in, I think it wasn't even Illustrator, it was like Photoshop.
Nice.
And like cut out some like I think we hand cut. Yeah. Did we do it in the vinyl cutter? I don't know, but we like hand cut like white flames and put them on a spray painted flat white car.
I don't even know if I remember seeing those. Maybe they were there the whole time and I just couldn't.
They were there the whole time. I just couldn't see them.
Damn.
They were ghost flames.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I like kept them like red, like slightly like color matchy flames in the other. So it's kind of like a homage to that.
Yeah. The old coupe.
Yeah. Freaking style, you know?
Hell yeah, dude. Stick to your roots.
Yeah. I only have one piece of that car. I cut out part of the door. I don't know why, but I have it.
You just have a chunk of the door?
Yeah. It's like not even a foot by a foot. It's like 10 inches by 10 inches.
Sweet.
So in Canada, that's
You
like 120 centimeters. I don't know. It's whatever. Who cares?
I think that's 25 centimeters.
Yeah. So it's,
I think
250 millimeters by 250 millimeters.
Yeah.
25 centimeters by 27. We're doing math.
We're doing math, dude. Hopefully nobody watched this far.
Are the like big mining trucks you work on standard or metric?
A mix, and it's so fucking annoying. Yeah, because like some parts will get made in like North America, some parts come from like all over the place.
That's crazy.
Some Europe. Yeah, so it's like
so you gotta have everything.
Yeah. It's all right. At least I learned both.
Yeah. So it's like working on my car because there's like American bolts holding stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that to mine too. It's just like whatever I have for a bracket, like that's what it's getting.
Yeah. You're like, it's a 13 or a half inch, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll figure it out later. Yeah. Yeah.
What's your like, I don't know, what's your long-term dream in drifting, or I guess in life, really? Or have you even thought about it?
I guess I kind of have, and like maybe it's a bit narcissistic or whatever, but for me, I'd like to kind of be known for being good at something and maybe motivate other people to do it. And what am I trying to get at? Like, it's been really good for my life, I guess.
Yeah.
Since I found this, like,
the thing. Yeah.
Since I found my thing, everything else kind of falls in place. Like, it gives me good motivation, work hard, and I'm never bored. I'm never like sitting around like, oh, what am I gonna do? Because I have endless work to do to keep my hobby going. And like, I don't know if I can like help other people to kind of get into it and find that. Like in my specific case, it would be drifting.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. And like when I die, it'd be cool to kind of leave some kind of legacy in that way.
Yeah.
And like that's the narcissistic part. Like realistically, it shouldn't matter. But
you're like, this is pretty narcissistic. I want to give back to the world, and you're like,
not that part.
But I want to give back to the world by being good.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like doing. You're like,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, not really, man. I think everybody wants to be good at something, right? Everybody wants to be good at least one thing, and
Yeah.
you know, you'll get there one day.
Yeah. I mean, we're still trying, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know I am.
No, but it's like
I'm good at a couple things. I don't know if I don't know what they are yet. I know they exist. No, I mean,
that's not my motivation to do it, I guess.
No, your motivation to do it is because it's fucking awesome, but like, you're also a good person and you want to like, well, I mean, debatable. You want to give, you want to give back, and like, I mean, I'm all for that. Like, I think part of the reason I'm doing this is so that people like can get to know people from drifting that maybe they think are good drivers or whatever, and like see what goes into that, right?
Yeah.
And with that, maybe, you know, maybe somebody like decides to like take that harder job or go on that like long trip to, you know, some drift event farther away, and they have a good time, or they don't, you know, and then they come to my house and kill my house plant, which is probably
would that really
in turn
that disappointing?
Well, Shelmy would probably kill me if anything happened to that plant. So I think that I don't want to put that out there, you know, if anyone wants to see me dead, but that would be the way to get it to put it in motion.
Girlfriends and their plants, dude. Right?
I mean, hey, they gotta do something between Animal Crossing, right?
Fair. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. My goal is to just like be able to keep doing it, I guess.
Yeah. Same.
And like I don't want to stop getting better. I don't want to do it if I'm doing it once a year kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to continue that.
You're committed. Yeah. I think as we get older, it's going to become more challenging, but I can't see myself letting go of drifting or some kind of motorsport. Like, I don't know if I could do autocross because it's not really my cup of tea, but
maybe like autocross in a cart.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, maybe I get a go-kart and I can just put it in the back of a pickup truck and take it to a track or something, because we're not allowed to drive cars anymore because, you know, automation, but
right.
Sorry, world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way to look at things, right? Like, you're not like, I want to get junior, I want to drink champagne out of the carbon trophy, and you know,
that's basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
You know, dude, you just make sure you open the monster when they hand it to you.
Okay.
There's like this clip of I don't know if it's Von Gooden or like somebody, but they like hand him a monster and he just goes drinks out of it and they like puts it down in the cap's full fucking close.
That's the best. Dude, you gotta crack that shit.
Yeah, dude, just pound it. Like, you should like pour it on your face. Like, if they were paying me that kind of money, dude, I'd just shower myself in it when I get out of the car when I went in. Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
So, that's a pretty good goal. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I like racing a lot too.
Yeah, you've brought that up a couple times during this. I'm
I'm
surprised that you
not.
don't surprised that you don't have some kind of like itch to try that.
It's not accessible, dude. Like
Yeah.
you know how we talk about taking drifting too seriously will ruin it, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like if you're only doing it because you want a trophy or some shit. Like for me, if I'm racing, I want the trophy. Like I want to win. I
Yeah.
want to do good. And
Yeah.
I think if I put like all my money and all my effort and all my time into racing, like I would be looking to win.
Yeah.
Whereas with drifting, I'm just looking to get better. Where,
Interesting.
in racing, like
Yeah.
obviously I want to get better, but if I'm racing, I'm gonna be cheesed if I'm leading on the last lap and I get dumped, or if I spin or something, like
Yeah.
I'm not
You
gonna leave in the same mood as I would if I screwed up drifting. Like I'm
you
gonna be
might
probably
even punch the dash.
I might punch the dash. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems
It's
like if I did it, I would be too serious about it, or I'd have to be too serious about it.
I mean, maybe someday, right?
Yeah, like the S15, like I won't door to door race it, but it's gonna be like a grip car.
Yeah, maybe go do some little time attack stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like you'd be good at that.
I think I could be. I had that. Dude, it looks like a ghost. It's so dark.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just
I
gonna
had
use
that
this.
EG for a little while. Nice. Do you remember
Yeah,
that
so
EG I had? Yeah.
yeah, so like I feel like some of the people from drifting are getting Hondas
Yeah,
and
dude.
and kind of trying that out. That looks pretty fun, man. I think I'm just a little too tall for those, but how do you
No,
fit in the
dude.
EG?
There's more headroom than in an S chassis.
It's the leg room for me. I have like super long legs. I have to sit in the back seat.
Dude, you'd be fine.
All right. I sat in one with like a bucket and the rear seat removed and like the bucket super far back and I could drive it, but it's like just made poor life decisions and I can't really have like a bunch of cars, especially not one that I can go racing in and one that I can go drifting in.
Yeah, I hear you. It's
I'm also
yeah,
too tall for karting, so
sucks, right? Can't even fit in that phone car.
yeah. Well, I mean, that was like my life goal. Like, I wanted to be Michael Schumacher really bad. Like, dude, anytime anyone asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was race car driver. Every
Really?
time I was like, I want to be Michael Schumacher, and
That's
then
big.
I realized that wasn't going to work out just because of my height. You know, like I
Yeah,
had
the
the
height held you
skills.
back, eh?
Yeah,
If it
I had the
wasn't for that,
I had the talent. You know, I had the drive. Um,
survive.
yeah, but it just didn't work out for me. So
Nice.
you know, I got dealt these hands, you know, and I can fit in the drift car. Also, by the way, if you're really tall, German cars fit really easily. If you drive an S chassis, you have to like cut the whole floor up and stuff. You should see
Yeah.
Julian's car. And I had to modify my seat rails. I had to cut the back off and like flip them and then notch it so that like you could put the bottom of the seat like on the ground. And I had it tilted like this. Like I was literally like laid back in my S13. It was actually really comfortable though.
Nice. Dude, even me, like I had to bash the tunnel out and like the bottom of the seat is on the floor and there's no more room and it's like just enough.
Most of the time that we were working on the car that Julian bought in Japan was us trying to move the cage so that we could fit a seat in there for him to drive. Because the first time he drove it at Nico, like literally they just like unbolted part of the cage and like threw the seat back, and his head was like hit like sitting on the bar, which is like super dangerous.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I mean, tall problems.
Yeah. That's the hard part. I'm pretty tall, but I put the seat like as low as I can go because I don't
Yeah,
want to recline it. I
yeah,
want to be like more upright, and like
yeah,
more on the wheel. Whereas like you and Julian, especially Julian in this car, he has no choice, but like he has to lay it back so his head fits.
Yeah, but then you're like reaching for the wheel at all times.
Yeah, and even if you space the wheel towards you, you're still like so far back in the car, and the dash is like way up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I could just like be looking out the top of the windshield. Like that'd be sweet. I wish I was real short.
The E36, like I didn't have to do much. Like I just put a wheel spacer on, and then when I put the JZ in, it moved the transmission back like 2.5 inches, shortened the drive shaft, and then it moved the shifter back 2.5 inches. So I was like, this is money, right? Like move the shifter back, through the wheel back. I'm like back here pretty much with the B pillar, and I'm like pretty much not like super reclined, but I like my racing seat a little reclined.
Yeah.
So that I can, you know, pretend that I'm in F1 still.
Yeah.
Because I didn't make it.
Naturally.
It was a financial situation, really. Like that was the reason I didn't get to make it. It wasn't the height, it wasn't my lack of skill. It was, you know, I didn't have the funds.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really, you know, it's hard to watch, you know, my boy Lewis and, you know, Danny out there just having the time of their lives while I'm making podcasts for 14 people.
I like that the number is going down the further that we get into this. Because you're probably right, except it's probably like 2 right now.
You know, we're going to grow this, dude.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
We're going to grow this cult.
I'm going to have to come back and maybe not be so like shitty at conversation by the time you have like 10,000 followers or whatever.
Dude, if 10,000 people are listening to these, I'm quitting my job, dude. And I'm running for president.
Yeah, hopefully they don't mind me asking. Do you know how many people watch like or listen to Unexplored Lines?
I don't know. I didn't ask them. But that was fun, man. That's like the whole reason I'm doing this. Like,
yeah,
it's like cool to like hang out with your friends and then put it on the internet and then have other people like learn about those people and drifting and stuff, right? Like, I was like, that's a sick concept. So I stole it from them, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks, Billy and Mez.
Steal the idea and do it better, right?
Yeah, definitely not better.
Well,
but
you got me on.
That's true. Yeah, they haven't had Brandon on.
Or maybe this is just like a practice podcast for me. Yeah, really I'm not go either way.
To go do somebody else's afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm not airing it, so no one will ever see this.
Damn it.
I've wasted
That's probably a good thing.
No, man. Yeah. I think people are. I don't know. Maybe like 2 people are interested in what you have to say. So
maybe that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I wish
those 2 people will be stoked, dude. They'll be amped. They'll be hyped. They'll be ecstatic.
Ecstatic.